Morning. How are we today? Oh, hardly started. Did you see that? And that's jumped out. So we might tell a story today. Hang on. Put one there. We'll see what we get to go with that one, shall we? Wasn't expecting that. Here we go. What is it that needs to be brought into our awareness today? For the highest good of all and collectively for our group. What do we need? Okay, a little bit of, I'll put on a piece and see what's going on. Where'd that go? Okay, all right, let's see if we get one more. So it's going to be a story today, hey? Some days are just like that. Okay, all right, so first card that fell out was the Five of Swords. Now, swords can be strife and conflict, but they're also like they can be double-edged sword, but also the sword of truth, right? So when we look here, a 5 in the tarot can be a really difficult number to work with. The energy of the number can be very difficult in the tarot. So when we look here, there's a couple of swords on the ground, and this fella's actually holding 2 here and leaning on 1, and there's 2 there. So and the clouds look a little bit jagged, like you can see there's been a bit of conflict. We've got people in the background walking away, someone with their head in their hands right in the background there. Okay, see that? So that for today can be that there could be a little bit of conflict around. We could be, I feel it's about needing to pick and choose our battles. Okay, pick and choose our battles wisely. We're not going to win all of them. We are going to win some of them. And for me, it's about like taking back what's rightfully yours, or owning what is your own shit, and being confident in that you're willing to converse through that. Because the swords are also about communication, right? So it can be a lot of things. Like the water in the background actually kind of looks like it's a little bit, I wouldn't say icy, but you know how water can look when it's cold and it gets like not so much ripply, but like when the wind blows on it, you can see that it's quite not choppy, but you get what I mean. You can sort of envision that there. So that sort of talks about the emotions being a little bit wobbly, if you will. So it might be a day where, you know, we're working with some emotions, or we're getting rid of some stuff. We're deciding which fights we want to pick and choose. We're deciding what we want to own, what we don't want to own. Some parts of our life, whether that's people, places, events, you know, we might choose to walk away from, or we might choose to protect ourselves by moving away. Does that make sense? So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It can be like for our highest good, right? Where we're actually going to stand there and protect ourselves. I'm actually drawn to the red on the fellow in the foreground. So, and it's on his legs in particular. So I'm like, okay, so for me, our legs, they hold us up, but for me, legs symbolize strength. I'm not sure what they mean for you guys, but they symbolize strength for me, and the fact that they can get us moving fast or slow or stop us, right? So I feel when I look at this and I take into consideration his stance, where he's kind of standing, holding firm, I feel is what he's doing. So I feel like it will be, for me anyway, it will be about choosing to let go and release this stuff here, whatever that has caused me pain. Clearly that's in the past, because it's in the background here. So for me, it will be about that. And this fella's kind of swung his coat over his shoulder, and he's off on his merry little ways. Well, that's it, I'm done. You know, so he's put down his sword and he's walked away, and he's headed off into a new space. Maybe not quite sure where he's going yet, but that's what he's doing. This fella here is still somewhat a little bit cautious, also got a bit of a smirk on his face. So for me, yeah, it's whatever happens today, as far as you communicate with dignity and respect is what I would say, because we want to communicate with dignity and respect. So when we have a look at the second card, it was Temperance. Now that's interesting because Temperance is a major card, and when you put it beside this one, okay, so it's like talking about, you know, needing to trust our own flow. There may be subconscious things that are brought up today, that are brought to our attention, that you might actually start to let go of. Now that's how I get that through the foot here, the foot in the water. That's a very subconscious thing to do, a deep diving kind of thing to do. I know it doesn't look deep there, but it's symbols that it's a deep thing to do, a subconscious thing to do. So, and this person has one foot in the water and one foot out of the water. So I feel that this is about bringing up subconscious stuff, that it is clearly time to let go of. So you might find some more patterning coming up that you actually want to let go of. And then we have the Lovers card. So the Lovers card isn't necessarily always about a relationship, although sometimes it generally is. It can be the relationship we have with ourselves. Okay, it can be that relationship we have with ourselves. So in this sense, when I look at these three and we tell the story here, we're looking at, you know, there might be some old patterning, some old ways coming up, some old ways we communicate, some stuff from the past that we might be looking at and deciding to let go of, and that will come up through our subconscious. What I like about that is that we're starting to become more and more aware of that, which is a really cool thing, because then we can be a better partner to ourselves, yeah? That's what I feel like that is. So if you're speaking harshly to yourself, it's time to let that go. We don't need to be speaking to ourselves like that anymore. And it might be diving deep and having a look at some of those subconscious patternings to become the better partner to ourselves. It can also be that there are some things or people that we might actually need to let go, that have been bothering us and not allowing us to go in our flow, because we're going to get back into our flow. And often when we do that, people around us, environments, situations tend to fall away because they're not in alignment with us anymore. It's no right or wrong, it just is they're no longer in alignment. And then we have better relationships. So not only the relationship with ourselves, but the relationships that we have with others. Now that can be a work relationship, that can be the relationship with friends, with partners, with family. So whatever comes up for you today, look at it very carefully and determine whether you actually need to continue along that path or whether you need to get into your own flow. Time to be in your own flow and trust what's coming up, trust what's being brought to your attention, because it really is simply about being in better relationships and better partnerships, be it with ourselves or with others or with other situations. I hope that makes sense today, beautiful people. As usual, please do not click any links. I do not operate that way. I would always tell you what was happening, and if you want to get in touch with me, PM me, message me, text me, whatever it is you feel you need. Happy to answer all your questions. Have an awesome day. Big love, guys.